Skylar Grey, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. How many instruments?
Well, basically, I just use my ears, and so whatever you put in my hands, I can make it sound pretty good. But piano and guitar and lap dulcimer.
Oh God,
those are my main instruments, and I also produce and run Pro Tools and engineer and all that stuff too.
Sick. Is there a lot of other girls that you run into industry wise that do the same things like that? Have you met other girls that are like, oh, or do you kind of?
No, actually, it's weird. I thought that there would be more, but especially with the Pro Tools thing, like I do all my own vocal editing and producing.
That's cool. So you have complete control of what your sound is like. Yeah, so I have complete control.
And I thought more people would be interested in learning that kind of thing, but that's not a lot of people do that. And I think that gives me a kind of a cool advantage because I can be wherever I am. I could live, who knows where, and be able to record vocals and send stems. Actually, that's how, when I wrote Love the Way You Lie, I was living in a cabin in the woods in Oregon. And I had my little studio, and I sent Alex, the kid, the producer, the stems to the vocal for that hook.
That's dope. And you're from Wisconsin, so it's like you've had to kind of like force your way and get your stuff where you wanted it from ever since you were young.
Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time.
And you were in a group with your mom.
I sang kid songs with my mom about rainbows, grandmas, the most random subjects. No, don't smoke tobacco songs. They were really cute. But then I started getting some, getting made fun of from my peers.
Aww.
Yeah.
Fail.
So I decided to go solo at 14.
You're like, Mom?
My mom,
we have to sit down and have a talk.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I started writing love songs. And I had no experience in love, so those sucked. And then moved to LA when I was 17, worked on some demos, spent my whole college savings on moving to LA and making demos. And luckily, it paid off because I got signed a year later.
Right. But then you ended up getting out of that deal.
I did. I didn't have a great time with that deal. But I had a song called Where'd You Go with Fort Minor that came out in 2006. Right. So some people don't put that together because I had a different name. I was going by Holly Brook at the time. And now since then, I actually kind of quit the music industry. I didn't quit it, but I had to take a step away because I couldn't make a living in it anymore.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of drama.
All your savings, you move to this new place from a small place, and it's huge and crazy, and you blow all your dough, and you get signed, and you're so excited, but then it doesn't work out, so then you're on your own, and you're like, what?
Yeah, no.
Okay, let me take 5 seconds to regroup.
I realized that I was, depending on a lot of people and trying to please other people all the time. So I really needed to go into isolation and figure out what made me happy and what my vision was for myself instead of everybody else. And also wanted to prove to myself that I could survive on my own and be self-sufficient. So that's kind of when I learned Pro Tools and all that stuff.
And when did the birth of Skylar Grey come? When did that?
That happened about a year and a half ago, and I was living in the woods in Oregon, and I just kind of figured out that if I was capable of anything I set my mind to.
Right.
And that gave me a lot of strength. And so I kind of came back into the music industry, just saying, okay, give me what you got. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to give it 100% of my energy. And that's exactly how it happened. Instantly.
Working with Dre.
Well, I met with my publisher in New York, and she introduced me to Alex, the kid, the producer. And he had the hookup with Eminem and all that stuff. So he sent me a beat, and I sent him back the hook to Love the Way You Lie. It's the first thing we did together. And so basically a month later, it was a big hit already because it was the very last song that was added to M's record.
Right.
And my whole life changed. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright because I like the way it hurts. You're just gonna stand there and hear me cry. Well, that's alright because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. I've changed from being in this little cabin to suddenly now, I'm sucked back into the music industry. I gotta figure this out.
But at least because you have those skills on Pro Tools and you're very self-efficient, and you kind of still have the freedom to kick back if you wanted to and be I'm just going to ship stuff out from my cabin wherever.
Well, that's the thing. Now I'm fearless because worst case scenario, I know I can be happy living in, the kind of bad environment that I was in. Well, not bad, but very rustic and modest. So
that's a nice way to put it, modest.
I could always be happy doing that, living in that way and making music from there. So knowing that, it makes me feel fearless, you know? I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming.
Dope. Are you on Twitter?
I am.
Now that you're back into society.
Now I'm back in the world. And I changed my name because I was like, I can't come back into the world and people are going to have preconceived notions of what I do. And so everything I do now is totally different than Holly was. And every, human interaction is different. The way I approach things, I'm much more assertive now. I used to be weak and like hide in the corner.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited.
And now finally your own records, because we've heard you on enough hooks by now, and I'm sure the label's like, okay, enough. We got to get her doing her own thing.
No, I think they would want me to keep writing hooks for other people. I'm like, no, I'm an artist. I actually never planned on songwriting for other people.
Oh,
that wasn't part of my thing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, like when I wrote the hook for M, I wasn't thinking that Rihanna was going to sing it. I'm not mad that she did.
Right,
obviously.
right.
I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. So now I kind of saved some hooks for myself.
Good.
And during the process. And so some of these hooks on my album are actually back from when I wrote Love the Way You Lie.
And
like the same day.
When is the album going to be out?
Album's coming out this fall.
Nice.
And it's called Invincible, spelled with an S.
Yeah, why is that? I noticed that.
Well, actually, that was Marilyn Manson's idea.
Oh.
I was hanging out with him one day, kind of telling him my story, playing him music. And I was thinking about calling my album Invisible. And the only problem I had with that is that Skylar Grey to me is like the superhero version of me. So I didn't want to call the album Invisible because that's like the weak emotion on the album, feeling invisible.
Right.
That's like Holly was.
Yeah.
So I told him all this, and Manson was like, well, then why don't you just add an N and call it Invincible?
all like easy, like.
He's like, easy, yeah. Like, okay. So that's what it is.
Where do you hang out when you hang out with Marilyn Manson?
At his house.
At his crib? Just like, where does he live? In LA?
Dude, he lives in the craziest. You have to like hold a cell phone to find your way because it's so dark. All the windows are blacked out.
No way.
It's there's a lot of offensive things in there, and you kind of you have to go in knowing.
And how does Marilyn Manson like reach out, like on a phone like a normal person, or does he send you like a small midget in like vampire gear to be like, Marilyn Manson wants you to come to my... Like, how does he, like, is he... I mean, he's not on Twitter and stuff like that, is he?
No,
Like,
I mean, the music industry is a pretty small world.
Yeah.
And I actually had been wanting to reach out to him for a long time, but never had the guts to. But then after I had, like, the working with Eminem and the Grammy thing under my belt, I was like, hey, you know what? I can call him.
Yeah.
So I reached out through a friend of a friend, and he invited me to come over for a meeting. And I did, and I was really scared at first, but then I realized that he's actually really... I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to want to say one more thing because
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't hold myself back.
Do it.
I just had 2 rehearsals with my band for the first time, and it sounds crazy. It's so good, and we're gonna be playing at Lollapalooza, which is really exciting.
How long have you? How long has that been on like your dream board of like stuff to do that you're like dude,
forever?
Ever since I was alive.
Yeah.
Ever since I was writing No Tobacco
I'm just
songs.
stoked to have everything come together the way I envision it now. Finally, because I've always had to, jerry rig it. I couldn't afford a band, so I had to play myself or whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's cool. It's great to have the support of the label. They're really behind it, and do everything the way that I want it.
I'm excited for you and the fact that you carry your own style and your own sound and you're just doing that fearlessness. And as a chick, it's just good to see that, to not have to be a certain way in order to make it. Like you can do it your own way, learn Pro Tools, make your sound, be okay with that, and then put it out there. So for me, that's really inspiring. I'm a chick on a radio show and I could do things every other way, but we're getting by. We're kind of jerry-rigging things, but it's working. And I'm finally gaining some of the support that I need. So I just, when I hear you say that, I'm like, oh, me too. So it can happen.
Good.
So that's so dope.
Cool.
Congratulations.